Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. In today's video, we will discuss discourse studies, its key concepts and approaches, and its application in real life. What is discourse studies? So, discourse studies basically means understanding language in context. During discourse studies, we try to understand language used in a specific context. Discourse studies is an interdisciplinary field exploring language in real-world context. Discourse studies explores language used in a specific context. It analyzes how, why, and what effect language is used. So it aims to understand how the language has been used and what are the possible objectives behind using those specific language or words, what effect these words produce. Connect language with social practices, meaning making, and power. So it analyzes how language is used to connect some social practices and how it is used to create meanings or create power relations. So what is discourse studies? Discourse studies is an interdisciplinary field that explores language in a particular context with the aim how the language has been used, what was the purpose behind the use of that language, and what was its result. As discussed in the previous slides, discourse studies is interdisciplinary. Discourse study is based on linguistics, sociology, anthropology, communication studies, psychology, and critical study. Or you can say that it is used in all these disciplines, or its rules or regulations are based on all these, have been taken from all these disciplines. Language is in use. As we told earlier, discourse studies analyzes, explores language, and language that is used in a particular context. And this language may be in a form of spoken or written or multimodal or in different models. And when we talk about models, it means that it may include text, it may include talk, TV talk, general discussion, images, body language, gestures, and even silences, pauses. It explores the discourse, how it is used to create meanings or construct interaction and interpretations, how the discourse, how the meanings are produced through interaction or the use of language. So when we talk about discourse generated to the use of the language is never neutral. It is always context based. It has relation with particular context. It is never independent or neutral. Discourse studies analyzes language, and when it analyzes language, it sees how this language is used in a particular context, that may be spoken, written, or any other form like talk, images, gestures, or silences. It aims to explore the meaning that is constructed or influenced by social norms, social behavior of the particular society, cultural norms, traditions, historical events or historical backgrounds, or political factors. So it analyzes discourse with reference to social, cultural, historical, or political factors, how these factors affect language or how language is used to reflect these factors. Which discourse studies focuses on how language is used to produce resistance or power and ideologies. It focuses on language, how the language is used to produce power or resist power or create ideologies. So the objective or the focus of discourse studies is to see how language is used to produce power, resist power, or produce ideologies. For example, media discourse framing gender role or politics, how the news are framed, how media reports or gender equalities or politics or other things, how they are framed, whether they are produced, presented, framed to resist power, produce power, or create ideologies. Next, social action. Discourse studies is used to explore actions performed through language. Language may be used to persuade people, public, exclude something, legitimize or empower some particular sect or strata of the society. For example, political speeches shaping public opinion. For example, we have seen Chor and Gadi Chor. World has been used. How the world has been used. So politicians have presented the opponents negatively, and the result you have seen hatred in form of hatred. People hate each other. Earlier in 19, we have seen that the same thing was done by the political leaders of PML and People Party. Now the same thing is being done by the political leaders of PMLN and PTI. So how the discourse is used to shape public opinion. So this is a reaction or social action that is performed, and same may be done through media framing as well. So if we talk about subfields of discourse studies, conversation analysis, everyday talk structure, how the people talk in ordinary situations, critical discourse analysis, how the language is used to produce or resist power, narrative analysis, identity through stories, how narration is built, how narrative is built, how different opponents or you can say in-group or out-group are presented, multimodal analysis, different images, text, public ads, signboards, sounds, gestures, these are also analyzed in discourse studies. Corpus-based analysis, it is an analysis of the text, of larger text that have been stored in digital form. So if we talk about the application of discourse studies, where the discourse studies is applied, it is applied in media or journalism. We analyze how things are, how the news are framed or presented in media, maybe it's a media, print media, electronic media, or politics and policies. So narrative shaping, how the politicians present opponents, how they present their colleagues in groups or out groups, how they present them positively or negatively. Education, maybe learning, maybe methodology, pedagogical studies, instruction, classroom control, or so on. Law and institutions. So discourse studies can also use to explore language used by the lawyers, or also can be used to explore the language used during courtroom discussions. It is also used to analyze or explore digital communication, the communication that is done through social media. If I sum up discourse studies, so discourse studies enacts reality and construct meanings. So it analyzes how the realities are presented, how the meanings are constructed through language. It analyzes or reveals ideologies behind language, its structure, or social dynamics that affect power relations or resist power relations. Discourse studies also studies language that is used to shape the world, how the language is shaped, what is being done in Balochistan or KPK. So this also media war, because it is the way the world is presented, how the opponents or things are presented. People fighting against the forces are using different narratives to present army or government negatively, where the government or public institutions or other government institutions are presented them otherwise. So this is all done in discourse studies. I hope you have understood it. If you have any questions, please write in the comment box. Thank you. Take care. Have a nice day.